Welcome to my Destiny Strike mission videos. On this series of videos I'm going to be covering all of the strikes within the game. It'll probably take over 4 videos, but we'll cover them all. Now, what are strikes, you may be asking yourself? Well, strikes are 3-player dungeons that you can do. You can even queue up for them. They're instanced, but they do take part in a section of the game world. However, they are instanced for you and your group. Now, inside those strike missions, you generally have some objectives and some trash mobs that you have to kill along the way, and then eventually you'll work your way to the final boss. Oftentimes there's multiple mini bosses that you have to fight throughout the entire dungeon run. Now you may ask yourself, what exactly am I doing these strikes for other than just the fun? Well, you get enhanced loot. You often get rare, and you have a better chance of finding purple items, which are legendary items in this game. Also, you get reputation, marks, as well as extra challenge, and they're fun to do. Now, which one am I going to start off with? Well, we're going to do the moon, and we're going to do Hellmouth. Over in Earth, you could start off with the first strike, which is Devil's Lair, and it's level 8. But I've already covered Devil's Lair on one of my beta or alpha videos. So if you're interested in seeing that, just check the channel out, and you'll find it on there. And nothing's really changed with it. It's exactly the same. So we'll jump into the moon and do Hellmouth instead. Now they are level 12. As you can see over here on Devil's Lair, it's level 8. And for Hellmouth, it's level 12. And then finally for Venus, it's level 14 and 14, as you can see. And it goes on and on until it gets to about 18. If you want to do level 18 or higher strikes, then you'll have to do the Vanguard missions right here. Now, inside of Vanguard, you'll have 4 different difficulties you can choose from. The first one is Vanguard Eagle, and it's level 18. It makes every single dungeon that it sends you into or strike level 18, even the level 8 and the level 12 ones. On here, your rewards will be Vanguard Gear, Vanguard Reputation of plus 10. So it's a fantastic way to start accruing your reputation needed for you to be able to get some of that legendary gear down the road. And you also have a chance of getting Vanguard Gear, which it's important to remember that at level 18 and at level 20, the armor will actually give you a stat that you'll need to progress further into Vanguard Wolf and then Vanguard Tiger tier. Now you might be wondering, isn't the game level 20 maximum level cap? How do you get to level 22? I'm glad you asked that question. In pieces of gear that you get at level 20, and some at level 18, and even 16 as you can see here, but this was taken from Mars mission, it has that light stat that you see in the middle of the screen there, right above intellect. Now what that does is it allows you to level up your character to effectively be level 21 or level 22. If you look over here where it says light, if you hover over it, it says light allows you to increase your level above 20. Increase your light by finding and equipping armor which contains light. So as you fill up that bar and you get more pieces of individual gear that have light stat on them, you'll grow to become level 21 and then eventually level 22, etc., etc. Now I just hit level 20 not too long ago, and I'm working on increasing my gear so that I can get into those higher playlists. And the main reason why you want to do these Vanguard playlists is because they give you better rewards, since you're fighting enemies that are level appropriate to what you can handle. So over here you get to Vanguard Viper, and you'll still get that Vanguard Gear reward, but you'll also get Vanguard Marks of plus 2 and Vanguard Reputation of plus 12. So it's definitely worth it. It keeps giving better rewards as you get higher, and you also have a chance of getting some purple gear coming from the random drops because you are fighting more difficult enemies. And as you start to get more light, you'll level up, and once you've leveled up, you can start to take on Vanguard Wolf and more difficult missions. The enemies will be tougher, the rewards will be greater, and of course, you have a better chance of getting random items dropped off the regular trash mobs because they are higher level as well. But as for the marks, what do they get you? Well, over here you're going to get legendary gear as soon as you get enough marks. It does take quite a few of them, so you're going to want to make sure to do this regularly. Now, it's important to also remember that you can only get 100 marks per week. So you're going to want to make sure that once you've reached that lockout, that the next week you do it again and again and again. It's not really a lockout, just a cap. So do make sure to cover those every week, because the most you can get is 100 per. And you'll fall behind if you don't start getting that. Not that you have to be keeping up with anyone, but you'll fall behind on your own progression. There's also another feature I'd like to go over, which is weekly heroic strike. These are more difficult, and you'll want to have level 22, remember, with the light stat that you've acquired throughout the different pieces of your gear. And they give you some pretty good rewards. They'll give you strange coins of +3, and they'll give you Vanguard marks, 3 of them, and Vanguard reputation of 150. So that's definitely something you want to look into, because it's a big chunk you get immediately right off the bat from doing one mission. Also, there's another thing you can do here. The daily heroic strike gives you about 4,800 XP whenever you do it every single day. So that's a quick thing you can pop off. It'll help you level up your character's abilities, like the striker subclass or the defender subclass, which that's a whole thing I'm going to go into on another video, because there's actually quite a bit of stuff that I'd want to go over there. Now with that stuff out of the way, you may be asking yourself, well, why exactly don't you jump in here and do a level 18 or a level 20 version? Why are you going to do one of the default ones, which are lower level than you? Starting with this one, that's level 12. I'm level 20, by the way. Well, the reason because the other ones are random. Every single time you do a strike playlist, it's always going to be random. And you never know if you're going to get Devil's Lair, and the next time you do it, you might get Devil's Lair again. And I want to show you every single one, so I'm just going to do the standard default ones. They still do provide a challenge if you screw up, if you overextend yourself, because the enemies, you're not immune. If you've ever played World of Warcraft, you'll notice that if you go back and do some of the low-level dungeons, you can basically steamroll it and the enemies don't do any damage to you. Here, they still do damage. You'll have it reduced, obviously, because your defense stat has increased as you've leveled up and acquired better gear, but if you're not careful, they can still kill you, and kill you quite easily. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into Hellmouth. Enough yapping already. And on here, it's going to search for 3 guardians, and from there, it'll launch you into the mission. Now, while this lady speaks, I'm just going to go ahead and stay quiet, so that way you can hear what the briefing is about.
Something dark stirs in the depths of the Hellmouth. We can feel it. A hive abomination bred for unthinkable evil. We must pierce the veil of their summoning pits and destroy this creature before the hive unleash it upon us all.
Alright, here we go. Now off we are. So, as soon as you get here, you're going to want to mount up on your vehicle, because this area is actually just part of the game world. Sometimes there can be monsters here. This time there is. You'll want to go past them as quickly as possible. They're not part of your actual main mission. They're just part of the world mobs that are spawning. And the reason why you want to be on your vehicle is because when you get to this area, it's a pretty long run. It cuts some time off if you could just do this right here and go real quick. Now once you get to this point, I recommend you jump off your vehicle, because it's unlikely that every single one of your teammates are going to make it past all of these things on their vehicle without getting either knocked down, blown up, and possibly killed. As you can see, look at the damage they're doing. I might even die here, oh my god. That's pathetic. But as you can see, they could still do damage. You're not invulnerable. You're not in God mode by any stretch. You saw that guy hiding? What a coward. I say after I do the same thing. Take out the waves. Just get rid of them as quickly as possible. And in case you're wondering what kind of gear I have at the moment and stuff like that, I'll go over that on a separate video. Maybe at the end of this video I'll do exactly that so you can see what some of the gear is. I notice my teammates aren't here. Yeah, they're back there. They're catching up.
We need to get through.
Once you get to this area, what you're going to do is you'll have your ghost hack that. And from here, you'll have to fight waves of enemies until finally you come up against a wizard at the end that's stronger than the rest. And you'll kill him off. And then after that, this will open up and you'll, you know, be able to continue to the next area. The enemies, they always spawn from this location. Some enemies right off the bat, they'll spawn from here and some from over here. Generally, these, what are they called? The thralls. You can kill off a bunch of them right here.
Said to be uncrackable.
And then you'll kill off some more over there. Some enemies come down from over there. And finally from that location over there. As you can see, here they come. Sneaky little bastards. You saw that? Okay, let's just kill off some of these enemies. As you can see, they're pretty easy, but again, if you overextend yourself or, you know, you think that they're not going to do anything to you just because you're level 20, that's oftentimes when I've seen level 20 players die. And even if you are above the levels, if you're like level 19 or 20 and stuff, you'll get paired with other players of similar levels. So you're not going to be a level 12, for instance, doing this place and having to do it with level 20s. So that'd be irritating. And it would take the challenge out of it too. Okay, so now the next wave of enemies are coming in. We'll kill them here. Oh, that guy just jumped off. He was like, ah, screw it. As you can see, I zoom in too much. Pull out that machine gun. Mow everything down.
I'm starting to sense a pattern. Shouldn't be long.
Some of the enemies, as you can see, will be more difficult. They'll have that yellow health. You have to watch out for them. When you're here at level 12, one of the things that I recommend is that you focus fire on whatever your teammates are firing at. I mean, it sounds like basic common sense, but oftentimes when you're here, you're used to fighting enemies on your own, and you're able to kill them by yourself. They pose very little risk or threat. If you try that here, you're not going to have the greatest of weapons available to you because you're on some starter gear, and it's really not, you're not, what's this? Enemies over here. They're pushing out a little far ahead. Okay, so that's the last guy you're going to fight in the game. We seem to have a pretty good team here. These guys are just killing shit left and right without me even having a chance to kill some of the stuff, so I'm focusing on explaining things for you guys. But if you don't focus fire, a lot of enemies will start to swarm you, and you won't have the opportunity to kill them off as quickly as you should because you're not focusing. You don't have the damage output in order to be able to take care of them. So I highly recommend that if you're going to be here to make sure to focus fire. And if your teammates aren't doing it, just watch what they're shooting at and try to shoot at that as well. As you notice here, you have a higher chance of getting good gear or even just uncommon gear, blue gear and stuff from doing these dungeons, from killing enemies. More so than if you just kill enemies out in the game world. So you'll follow along this path, and I recommend that when you get to the bottom that you turn left right here at this point, because if you turn right, it's just going to take you actually in the wrong direction, so watch out for that. There's going to be some enemies charging out here. Make sure to take care of this whiz. Kill him off as quickly as possible. He's just irritating. He throws a black poison cloud that I'm in right now. As you can see, it's doing some periodic damage to me. It also slows my character's movement speed and doesn't enable me to use my jump jets or your double jump ability, which would normally get you out of it really quickly, but now not so much. And you'll have to excuse me if I'm not performing too well, because right now I'm focused on explaining things more than what I am playing. So makes it a little bit more difficult. I know it's an excuse and all that, but it's legit. So you'll focus down these two hollowed knights. You have to watch out because they like to regen some of their health, and they have a lot of AoE attacks, and they're pretty strong. And if you're not careful, they'll start to focus you down or even charge at you. But once you attack them, they go down pretty quick. Alright, so you'll turn right over here along this path, and now you're going to be fighting the main boss of this section. Take a look at that. He's chained up. Try not to attack him because you don't want to break those chains just yet. What you want to do is just go along this path here and try to kill off as many enemies as you can. And once they're clear, then you can start focusing him down. You'll break the chains and you'll keep attacking him. Some of the moves that he does is a smash if you get too close, and it'll one-shot you. Doesn't matter what level you are, you're dead. And he also does another attack where he does this channeled beam attack from his eye, kind of like the other Titan or whatever, Goliath, I forget what they're called. Alright, so you'll just continue on here. Seems like everyone's almost dead, so we'll be able to free him. Yep, he's free now. Area that you're going to want to focus, as you can see, wherever I fire, it's at 66 damage. So the one spot you're going to want to fire is his stomach. I clipped it just a few seconds ago and you saw it did 98. Now I'm just shooting at it. And it's a pretty good damage boost. So you'll keep attacking him, but periodically, as you can see, enemies will spawn in from there, from over there, in a lot of different locations, and they'll try to swarm you. So break off the boss and make sure to start attacking these guys. Clear them out and then go back to attacking the boss. One of our teammates is down. I recommend that you avoid this area if you are going to attack. Make sure to be over here. Don't go up there because, you know, to attack the boss. Because if you do, a lot of enemies have a propensity to spawn right up there. And they like alpha strike you. They're strong, hardy targets too. Ooh, watch out. And as you can see, they jump down here, and now you're swarmed by like 20 different, or not 20, that's an exaggeration. It's not like one of those guys where I was fighting 20 guys and I won. Let's go help our teammate out over here. Oftentimes they'll spawn from up there. They'll start attacking quickly because you're focusing on the boss, and they'll kill you off real quick. Every single time I see a player up there, it's only a matter of time, but they end up dying. This area is pretty good. You do have to watch out because oftentimes enemies will try to go up there, and if there were some of the enemies that have the cannons, they just start shooting at you. Whizzes go up there and they just start putting that poison cloud on you, and so now you're slowed and you're getting hit by AoE attacks that are doing lots of damage. That's pretty terrible. Here comes a... oh, damn, that was close. So he'll do that channel attack right there. You'll want to make sure to avoid it. Just hide behind something, bob and weave. You could do something like that and just pop out and shoot at him. You'll want to be careful when you're level 12 though, because it has a tendency to just one-shot you or just melt you almost instantly. Especially if you come in here at level 10 or 11. I originally came in here at level 10 and I regret it. Because of the armor that I had, I was getting one shot by everything. It was terrible. And I mean, it wasn't that bad, but anything with power, I was just dying in one hit. One thing I like to do is just come over to this section and work these guys over. Especially if the boss isn't focusing on me, which he seems to be. So I kill those guys off. Now that's a good amount of mobs gone now that you don't have to worry about. And your team doesn't have to deal with. They died real quick and you can go back to focusing the boss. Some of these are, ooh. See, I got that whiz on me. You might die here. No doubt he was probably up in that spot, yeah. Teleported down. What? Oh, nice. Died. That is pathetic. Yeah, but that's one of the reasons why you're going to want to focus down the whizzes, because they have that tendency to alpha strike you when you're not looking, and that's when it's deadly. Wave at our teammate. Let him know thank you. This weapon's pretty good. I got it off the quest line. I don't want to spoil anything, but you'll see it eventually. I don't know if it's going to be the exact version that I have, but it's pretty good. However, it's got a small magazine and requires a lot of bullets to do the same damage that other weapons do. I'm kind of still preferring a hand cannon over it. There's that poison field again. What's his health at? Just focusing now. So essentially what you're going to want to do for this boss fight is attack the boss, clear the area first, attack the boss, break the chains, he comes out, watch out for his little channel attack, kill the ads as they come up, and then from there go back to him. Very easy, but sometimes you can get alpha strike by these whizzes and these annoying creatures. And that's that for you. Oh, come on. I'm stuck again. These guys are just like poisoning my ass constantly. It's getting annoying. I haven't had that happen before. This much, anyway. Let's just kill him off. Get some vengeance on this bastard. Look at this guy. He thinks he's Superman. He's just flying around. He's like, screw walking. We got our teammate. Alright, our guy got him already. I guess one of the reasons why I'm having such difficulty in this area is also because my teammates are... they're hanging around on the other side. And so what happens, a lot of the enemies start jumping up here, and then they start shooting you over here in your back, and it's pretty irritating. Just mow this guy down. Once he dies, everything despawns.
Finally, the abomination has
I
been
can't
destroyed.
stress enough, but when the boss dies, even if you can't see it, run to him and pick that up. At least run over the surface. You might be able to still pick it up if he dropped it. You'll take that back to the tower, and once you get to the tower and talk to the guy who sells the engrams or accepts the engrams, he'll give you 200 glimmer. Now, excuse me if I didn't do too well here. I was focusing on trying to explain things to you. Hopefully, as you know, I continue to do these strikes and I do voiceover live, I'll get better and better at it. And if not, then I'll just start uploading videos and do the voiceover after I record everything. Alright, so I ended up getting a rocket launcher here. It's a pretty good one. And a chest armor. I wouldn't use these because, you know, they're weaker than the ones I have. So I'll DE them or dismantle them. But when you're coming here the first time, that would be an immensely great score right there, because you're not going to have anything better than this at this point. So definitely make sure to do your strikes. You could do them of level. If you're level 12, go ahead, jump in, do it. It'll be worth it. You'll get lots of good items from it. But let's go ahead and dismantle those. Here's the current rocket launcher that I have. So you could see that there's a huge difference there. But it is good. This is a level 10, and look what it does. Hangs pretty good with the level 17. And if you come in here, the main reason why it's also good is because when you have green weapons, they have a few more upgrades than your standard weapon. However, blue ones have even more, and I presume the same thing for legendary weapons. So you can extend their usefulness and make them even that much more better. For instance, here's aggressive launch. You get different sights. You get, oh, look at that, surplus. Expect to find more ammo for this weapon. You get upgraded damage, a second upgraded damage, a perfect balance, and finally javelin. Increases warhead velocity. So you can make this thing much, much better than stock as you continue to use it. So here's the character that I'm currently running with, since we have a little bit of time to kill before the video's over. We have about 3 minutes. This is my level right now. I'm level 20, and I've unlocked this so far for my abilities. We're not going to go into that now because I am going to make a separate video that's going to go into that. The current rifle that I'm using is this, well, spoilers. The Stranger's Rifle. It's a very nice weapon. It has a lot of modifications you can add to it, including it being a pulse rifle, but you could use it in full auto. Now I think that the full auto, I haven't been able to find a way to activate any other like switch to actual full auto, so you can get it like an auto rifle, you know, where it fires bullet after bullet in a hailstorm real quick. No, instead it's just like you hold the trigger and it does triple fire, triple fire, triple fire, and it just keeps on doing it. I think that the regular pulse rifles, you hold the button and it does a, you know, a burst, and then it just, you know, waits for you to press the trigger again. If that's the way it is, well, that's a shame, but I was kind of hoping it could, you know, convert it to full auto based on the wording there. But there's also smooth ballistics that it starts off with, and then you can get also an accurized ballistics, and then eventually smart drift control, more damage again, and speed reload, and a whole bunch of things. So the speed reload is very, very important because, as you can see, you only get 21 rounds with this weapon, and they go kind of fast. So I also have this cannon that I got from, it was actually from that strike that I just did. I've been holding on to it just because I had so much fun with it. 600 damage from a cannon, man. A pistol is just insane. And I found this Shingen, I think I found this one just off of, out in the game world. It just dropped randomly. And this one I got later on, and off of, actually, I was in Cosmodrome killing just level 4 creatures. And that dropped from it. From an engram that I turned in. And now this is the, oh, and before I go on to that side, this is the fusion rifle that I'm currently using. I just got that off of a strike. And this is the helmet that I have currently. It's only level 12, but again, the stats are good, and I'm waiting to get some of the better stuff later. And I just haven't found anything else other than these, which are pretty much similar. And I've upgraded it so it has its maximum defense that you can get from it. Also, I've gotten these gauntlets, and this is my chest piece that I have. Finally, my leg piece, and I haven't really gotten a good mark of command or these marks that you can get, the class armor. So anyway, that's my character right now. He's at 549 defense. I have yet to level up my defender class, but I will be doing so soon. And right now my intellect is at 191, and it's giving me 70% increase to my Fists of Havoc. It allows it to charge more often. That's that one move I do where it jumps and it smashes down to the ground and it hurts everything in an AoE. And then Discipline helps my grenade cooldown to be quicker. And then finally my Strength allows my Storm Fist to recharge more quickly. But right now I'm not focusing in on that one too much because I noticed that it charges pretty much every single time I need it. It's ready to go. However, trying to get my Fist of Havoc up as quickly as possible seems more valuable to me right now. So I have some alternative pieces of gear here that I'm going to be either dismantling or holding on to. But anyway, that's the end for this video, and I hope you enjoyed it very much. I hope that it helps you. And I will be doing some more. In fact, the next one that we're going to do is going to be in Venus, and it'll be the Nexus. That one's actually a pretty interesting mission. All the strikes are pretty interesting. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next video. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you on the next video.